Good morning, everyone. I am sorry I did not upload yesterday, but you got a new video today. And guess what? It is going to be a story time. But before I get in there, why don't you take your time to like, share, and subscribe? Because, I need to know that, it's real and that you love me and that you want to see me again. So why don't you guys take the time out and go ahead and do that for your girl? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, so this story time, it is going to be the time that I catfished my ex-husband. And yeah, there's a reason why he's my ex. Anyway, so I'm driving, so I'm not going to always be looking at the camera, but you'll get the gist of it, okay? Because I wanted to make sure I get you guys a video today. All right, so here we go. All right, so I married a guy. Now, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, disclaimer, I wasn't making the best choices. I married him because we just had such a great time with one another. So I married him. Anyway, but sometimes when you're having a good time with somebody, they don't necessarily make the best husbands, right? They should only be a good time. So anyway, I married this guy, and at the time I was 35 and he was 48. So he was some years, older than me. My first key to I shouldn't have married him was the fact that he had umpteen kids. I'm talking about damn near thousands of kids. I know that's an exaggeration, but I think he had like 6 or 7 kids, and all of them had different baby mamas. That should have been my key. Very handsome guy, very debonair, very funny, charismatic, all of the makings of a fuck boy. And your girl married him, right? So after about, I want to say, we were dating for a good 6 months or so, and he asked me to marry him, so we did. But here's the thing, he had never ever been married before, ever. Almost 50 years old, all these kids, never been married, true playboy. And here I come along, little old me, feeling special that he asked me to marry him, right? He asked me to marry him, and maybe he's ready to settle down. Not, okay? At least not completely, right? So we get married, and I think that maybe we're married for a couple months, and we had already been through a lot of stuff during this couple of months. Women coming out of the woodwork, trying to size me up because they don't understand why all of a sudden this man didn't marry me when they wanted to marry him. They couldn't understand what your girl had that they didn't have. I'm like, okay, that's on them. They were calling my job, playing on the phone, and my thing at the time was, how did these broads get my phone number? So I really don't know, but they got my office number, and they had my phone number, so my cell phone number. So it was just amazing to me that all this stuff was happening. So it was stress from the beginning after the marriage, right? But then something, I owned a clothing store and a mortgage company, and he was managing the clothing store for me. So I happened to go to the clothing store and get on that computer because I had to go do the accounting for the store. And I happened to log on to that computer. He owned a dating site. Now I found his dating site, and he's responding to females, all of this stuff on this dating site. So I didn't say anything. I wanted to play it real cool. And I decided I'm gonna make me a profile just to catch him up. He was already in violation for being on this dating site, but I wanted to see how far he is willing to take it with somebody on one of these sites. So I was the ultimate catfish. I found this bomb girl. I mean, body on fleek. She was cute. She had a whole bunch of pictures, man. I found all kind of pictures of her and made myself a profile. I memorized his screen name, and I made sure that the minute that I logged on, that I made sure that I emailed him, right? So it didn't take long. The next day he emailed me back. We talking back and forth on email. I'm like, I'm putting it on thick. I'm telling him I'm in a relationship, but I ain't happy, and I'm just looking for somebody for a little rendezvous. Then he admits to me that he in a relationship, but it ain't nothing serious. Now, mind you, we married. We ain't. What you mean it ain't nothing serious? We married, Negro. We married. So he telling her it ain't nothing serious. He got somebody, he care about her and everything, but it ain't really nothing serious for him. I'm like, this one right here. So I keep on with it. He asked us to exchange numbers. I said, dang it. So I done went, listen, I'm so cold with my game, I went out and bought another phone. A little Boost mobile phone or whatever it was, track phone at the time. I go out, buy another phone, and I didn't want nobody else in my business, but I knew for certain he would know it was me on the phone. So I employ my girlfriend to pretend like him. She's not him, but she's my catfish lady, right? They talking, I'm letting them exchange phone number. Every time he calls, she put me on a 3-way. I'm listening to the whole conversation. He making plans to see this girl. So I set up a date. I said, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get together. We're going to go on this little date. I'm telling him what all I'm aware, because my plan was to be the person that shows up on the date and bust him that way. But I was so mad. The plan, it didn't go the way planned. But let me continue on. All right, so anyway, we set up a date, and it just so happened that this date falls on the day that we are having a family barbecue at the house, right? So he tells her, I ain't gonna be able to stay that long, we got a couple of things, I got a couple of errands I need to run and all of that, but I do want to see you and meet you and check you out. Okay, check me out, boo, check me out. So I tell him I'm gonna have on a red outfit or whatnot. So that was like on I want to say it was a Thursday we made plans. Friday night, he asked his wife out to dinner. Let's meet up at dinner. Okay, because he knew I work late, he worked late, or whatnot. Now, mind you, I'm brewing, because the following day, so it was a Friday we went out to dinner, so the following day we were supposed to meet up and go, we was actually supposed to have this doggone, this dinner or meetup or whatever at the catfish lady supposed to meet up. But I'm at dinner and he all lovey-dovey, telling me how much he loved me, and I'm telling you, I am brewing inside, brewing. So this is when it started going south, because my butt, I can't hold water. Like when I got that much emotion and this nigga in my face just being straight fake to me, straight fake, and talking about how much he loved me and all these plans we done made together and all that. And I'm sitting up here like, you've been talking to me, the other me, for weeks. Not just you curious and you had one conversation with her, you straight up building straight relationships with me, telling me, you know, you feeling me and you want to see me and spend more time and all this with the other person, the other version of me. And then you sit up here and you tell me how much you love me. I couldn't hold it, y'all. I couldn't hold it. So I went off. I started telling him the whole thing and this, that, and the third. Now, mind you, like I said, we only had been married a few months, a very few months. So in my mind, it's like, this is a wrap for this marriage because I can't trust you already. I cannot trust you. So I go off on him. I'm telling him everything, that I know everything, verbatim, everything that he's ever said. The girl, what she looked like, her screen name, all this kind of stuff. He gonna tell me, you ain't gonna believe what this fool tell me. He knew it was me. Ain't no way he knew it was me, because for one, I had my girl or whatnot. She the one was pretending. She was the one that was pretending that she was me. So he never recognized the voice because he had never met this girlfriend before. And he was very detailed and intimate with her. Text messages, you know, text messages were a little bit different back then. You couldn't do no long books. You only had so many characters that you could do. But text messages every day, stuff like that. So he was full of shit. So I just told him, it's a wrap. You got to go. And he was driving one of my cars. I told him, I want you to give me my car or whatever. So this one is when it gets interesting. We pay for the dinner. We go outside. I tell him to give me my keys, that I want my keys back. He decided he ain't gonna give me my damn keys, right? So we on a chase. Now I know it's dangerous. He gets in the car. He takes off. I'm in my car. Take off. I think at the time I had like a little Mercedes convertible 500 SL or something like that, and then he was in my truck. I had a Lexus truck, so he driving the truck fast. I'm behind him. We going all in and out traffic. You know, it could have been a real bad situation. I'm not proud of it, but I was that mad. So he ends up going towards our house. He goes into like a dummy. He goes into our cul-de-sac where he can't get out. So I just block him into the cul-de-sac. We at the end of the cul-de-sac arguing. I'm trying to get my keys. Now he tall. I'm only 5'6". He like 6'3". He's holding the keys up, jumping up and down, telling me to calm down. He knew it was me, and you know, he was just gonna play along and show up and this, that, and the third, and da-da-da-da. I'm like, no, you didn't. You did not know it was me, and I'm not finna go through this with you. You know, you got to go, because I'm like, I'm worth more than this. And on top of that, that wasn't the only thing that had happened. This was like one of many things that had happened within 4 months. This, you know, like I said, the women were calling me out of the woodwork. We in bed. Somebody calling his phone at 2 a.m. I answer the phone. It's a female. And then she gonna tell me to ask my husband what she is to him. I was done. Like, and then this fool had gotten 2 DUIs. I was like, there's a reason why you 50 years old and have not been married. There's a reason why, and I get it. But of course, my silly self, because he's so handsome and so charismatic and kept me in stitches laughing, I'm thinking like he husband material. And girls, I'm here to tell you, it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. You meet a dude and he having a good time, put some time on it, because I married him way too fast. We got married under 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. We were married for less than a year because of my choice. I was done. He begged and begged me not to divorce him, but I was more established than him. I was basically providing financially, just doing every single thing. And then you got the nerve to be out here living like you single. I want you to be single, dude. I want you to be single, because I'd rather be single than be with somebody and be miserable. When I tell you the things that I went through with this man, I bailed him out of jail. Nothing like criminal, but you know, he was a low-key alcoholic. He driving drunk, and you know, it's bad when you get a felony DUI. And he had like a couple of felony DUIs, you know, where he could have killed someone. And so it just, the situation just was not for me. And I had to go ahead and move on with my life and move forward. And I learned some big lessons. So now, when I see red flags, because I saw those red flags from the beginning, but I moved forward because in my naivete, in my naiveness, if that's, you know, however worded it is the correct one, I, in my mind, was saying, worst case scenario, we get a divorce. You know, I was married to this guy for less than a year. He wanted alimony. He wanted all kind of stuff, because in his mind, he had become accustomed to the lifestyle that I had provided to him. And for me, it just wasn't going down. So I ended up not having to pay him alimony because of the short period of time that we were together. And besides that, I was going through some financial issues by the time that we went through divorce. So, you know, the judge did not grant him any alimony, but I did have to pay him to move out of my house. I had to give him money to move. You know, there was a lot of lies told in the beginning of the relationship. He told me he worked for Caltrans and he was out on disability. He was going back to work, and I saw the disability check. So I really, you know, I really thought that he was telling the truth, but he didn't work a day. And he worked for me and was giving away stuff, and just, I didn't feel like he really loved me. But even now today, like, I love his mother. When I speak to him, he still tells me that he loved me. You know, some people, you get into a relationship with some people, and some people just do not know how to love. And that could have been easily been his case, is he just didn't know how to love. And unfortunately, I was his guinea pig, you know. So that's the bad thing about that, you know. Unfortunately, I was the guinea pig. I was his first real relationship where he was responsible for stuff, because in the end, I was starting to lose everything. That was when the mortgage meltdown happened and all of that kind of stuff. And you know, my money was coming from the mortgage industry. So when that happened, I was going through stuff with the kids, my marriage, my relationship. Everything was going bad. And he did try to get a job to help, but he was doing too little too late. So I was just done. And there were a lot of interesting story times that come with that relationship. This is just one of them. And at the end of the day, I learned some big lessons about just being in a relationship, period. It's like, you know, go with your gut. I can't even say that I really was in love with him. I was around him because I was carefree and I was happy, as far as, like I said, he kept a smile on my face because he's such a jokester, and he knew everyone. We went on a cruise. He knew 10 people on the cruise, and it was just fun being around him. But ladies, fun does not equate marriage. So just remember that. I hope that you enjoyed this little short story time, honey. But women, we go through some stuff, don't we? All in the name of love, in the name of being married and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was just crazy. And those were some different times, you know. Those are times that I had both bad times and good times during that period. But, you know, a lot of bad times because, you know, when your finances ain't together, nothing else really matters, does it? So my finances started going downhill. You go from making 6 figures to you trying to figure out how you're going to put food on the table. Yeah, it's a big deal. So anyway, I am arriving at my appointments for work. So I am going to let you guys go. Please take the time out to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. Tonya World out.